Thank you for staying with us. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has assured Nigerians that the Renewed Hope initiative of her office will bring succor and relief to families in the country when it fully commences. The First Lady, who is also the national chairman of the Renewed Hope initiative, said this after the second meeting of the governing board of the initiative held at her office at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Senator Oluremi Tinubu says all modalities have been put in place to ensure a smooth take-off of the project across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. She disclosed that the various states and local governments will be involved as the project is all-inclusive for the Federation.
Very important because we are here in Abuja. How do we now get to the states? And they have mothers in the state who can help us with that. They have mothers. We have mothers also in local government, which wives of governors would, be working with, like I'm working with them. So it's like a mini version of what is here at the federal government level. So it's not a road we've not treaded before. So it's somewhere we've done before. Charity work is what I do. It's covering a lot of areas, covering health, education, social investment, agriculture, and economic empowerment. So it's basically what can get the family going. Our mission is better life for our families.
The outcome is truly very productive, and the agenda is just for us to cross-pollinate ideas with the wife of the president to see how we can all contribute positively, since we are all representing our geopolitical zones. Anything to do with charity work. So just as she rightly pointed out, the door is open to all the many individuals.
Right. Now, wives of the president and the vice president speaking there. Well, joining us from our Abuja studio is the Ambassador of Peace, United Nations Peace, Polak, and a former Benue State governorship aspirant, Dr. Rosalind Ada Chenge. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here with you.
And it's happy to see you as well. Now, let's begin with what your impressions are seeing the wife of the president as well as the vice president coming up with this Renewed Hope initiative to address some of the challenges Nigerians are facing at this critical time.
Oh, thank you very much. Just like the name implies, renewed hope. Nigerians were almost losing hope. And so I think we're now optimistic that somebody is aware. Because when Nigeria came together, the three cardinal points was peace, freedom, and then unity. And so when this initiative has come up to address renewed hope, that is, we are now having the hope that all this will be met. And then having the track record of distinguished Senator, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, how she performed in Lagos. Lagos is mini Nigeria, and so everybody is present there. The whole tribes in Nigeria are present in Lagos, and she has been First Lady of Lagos. So we're not surprised that she came immediately and called the women together, the 36 states First Lady. So Nigerians are very hopeful, and most especially the fact that she mentioned about agriculture, me particularly from North Central. I think that will do a lot for our youth. The fact that over 60% of Nigeria are below the age of 25%. So I think it's a very, very, very good direction that she has taken, and we look forward to active participation down to the grassroots, as she has mentioned.
All right, Dr. Chenge, when it comes to the charity work that the First Ladies do, one would say, of course, everyone sees it as charity. There is no backing of the law to say the idea or the initiative of the wife of the president will be cascaded to all states and then all the local governments, as the case may be. So what do you see, a good vision, but what do you see when it comes to the capacity to ensure that the ideas or the vision or the dream of the First Lady is replicated with through the states and then even the local government, like she has mentioned?
Okay, thank you. You know, it's not all laws that must be written down like somewhere in Britain. Your conscience and then what the people say generally becomes the law at that time. So over the years, from the past years that First Ladies of this particular nation have carried out project, we have seen response from the grassroots and people willing to carry it out. And most especially the father, she said she was not just going to involve the First Ladies of the state. She said they should appoint coordinators of this program in their states and as well as the local government. So definitely, even as there's no framework about law that is going to ensure this thing is done, I believe that with the level of the strata of downstreaming she's about to do, that it's going to go all the way down. And the people's conscience is actually the law at a time like this. And over the years, from Miriam Babangida, A Better Life for Rural Women, and different programs that have taken place, as soon as the First Lady of the nation actually goes out to make it happen, and practically that she's willing to do it, you see everybody responding and everybody waiting. And the distinguished senator is not just a First Lady, she was First Lady in Lagos. And after that, she had 12 years of sitting in one large room and speaking to Nigerian problem. She had the opportunity of being with senators who were voicing out the problem of everybody from their grassroots. And so I believe that for 12 years, she had engaged the quality representations from different parts of this country. And so I think she should have a fair knowledge of how to downstream it and a fair knowledge of the problem in Nigeria.
Now she spoke to the wives of the governors, telling them about the position they occupy, that this position they occupy is an opportunity for them to impact lives more meaningfully. And not just the people of their states, but I am wondering how much impact you see this initiative bringing to the lives of Nigerians. I recall that it's been reported that over 100 million Nigerians are under multi-dimensional poverty as we speak. And there are reports that by the end of this year, 7 million more people will join that number. So I'm wondering how much impact, meaningful impact, you see this bringing to the table.
Okay, you know, like we talk about 60% of the youth, Nigerian population are youth, and the fact that she has been in the National Assembly and the fact that she already has met with these First Ladies, I believe that by the grace of God, she put in all her energy and taking these vital signs like the health sector, the agriculture sector. If she takes it to the grassroots, as she has said, I feel that in the first 1 year of her stay in the office, people will begin to feel the impact. Remember, every development has to do with time. You know, you can't come today and because 100 million people are in poverty today, you just solve it at once. So I think the right thing she has done is quickly call the First Ladies together. You know, it's less than 2 months and she already has the first meeting rolling. And she has told them, you don't just stop in your state. You have to be mothers to other people as well, the whole Nigeria. So I think they starting. It's enough message, and I want to see more action even as she proceed. I pray that she has all the support of the First Ladies, because from this.
When you talk about
From the speech of the Kwara State,
when you talk about action, what more are you expecting? Because you've been talking about you want to see more action. So expatiate on that.
Yes. Yes, when I want to see more action, like after they have appointed the coordinators of the state coordinators of this system, I want to see them appoint people on the agriculture and bring in the data of the youth in that state that are actually going to participate. And I want to see them, if it's agriculture, if it's health sector, I want to see the women and the youth being engaged, and let's see the data as it rises up. And when the data rises up in terms of engagement, definitely the development will go down. But the data has to be captured. And so when they appoint the coordinators, I want to see the coordinators going in the different department, the different section that she has said she wants to work with, the agriculture, the health, and all the social investment. So once they have these coordinators in this department and they engage the youth, and we begin, the youth and women, let me not forget, I'm a woman, the youth and women are engaged, I think we'll begin to see the action happening there by the data being collected. If at the end of the day, Mr. President supports her work, because I know he has been supportive. If he had, when she was First Lady in Lagos, the New Era Foundation, we heard about how much she did then. And then having been in the Senate for 12 years with the support of her husband, I can imagine that she's not just going to have a project that will not have enough funding for takeoff.
All right, let's narrow down on an area that I feel that you have interest in, and that's even agriculture. You are a grassroots person. Share with us particularly when we talk about agriculture as part of what she wants to do, and she wants to cascade some of these things. Women are great employers. Women are great participators within the agricultural space, especially like in the North Central that you mentioned. If you even pick out Benue, that is said to be the food basket of the nation, where you come from, share with us what you want to see. You are grassroots already. If she has to take advice from you, for instance, in agriculture, as regards how we want to approach, what do you want to see at that grassroots, and how is it going to play out?
First and foremost, I must mention, like you talk about North Central, the herders farmers crisis must be addressed. So I think she's going to work a lot with her husband for the security, because so many of our farmers are able to go to farm and bring products out because they're scared of what's happening in the forest. So if I'm talking to her about agriculture, I want to let her know that first and foremost, the security of the lives and the livestock, as well as the crops that are being produced in that area, must be secured. Then, when that is done, the youth, a lot of the youth back in Benue, they produce like groundnuts, they produce like different types of crops, both cash crops and food crops, in order to make a living. So if there's a lot to do about storage, in the North Central, we need a lot about storage, a lot about processing, because when it's time for harvest season, you see so many of our mangoes, they're wasting away. People come from all over the country to buy for peanuts. A bag of groundnuts is cost something like that. So a lot of these things waste during the harvest season. So when you come to Benue and to North Central particularly, when you're talking about agriculture, I want to see her do a lot about the storage and the processing and the takeoff. You know, when you have a lot of product in the place, how do you transport it out of that place? If youth are engaged in the transportation and in the processing, in the storage of these goods that are being produced during the harvest season, it will be a long way. It will also help them and assist them to be able to take care of their family. It will prevent the youth from leaving their villages. Our people naturally want to stay back home and farm. They know how to relate with the soil. But then if nobody is there to buy it, if nobody is there to buy it at a good price, then they just leave it and come to town to look for a job. So I want to see her, especially in terms of agriculture and in North Central, providing the security, working a lot on the storage and the processing, turning this thing, adding value to the raw food that will be brought from the villages. So I think on that ground, women are very good and they are available and ready to work with her. I think that's the area that I want her to dwell with more in North Central, especially in terms of agriculture.
Interesting. Now let's come to education, which is another critical aspect of our society. And we know that we have a burden of out-of-school children, over 10 million of them, as has been reported. And a majority of these persons are at the grassroots. I'm wondering how you want her to approach this and to perhaps make education more attractive to parents of these children and accessible as well as affordable to these children.
Okay. The first way to make education accessible is to ensure that the source of livelihood from their parents are available, because a lot of the youths that are out of school and those that are hawking on the street are simply because their parents are not gainfully employed enough to take care of their education. At this stage, almost every Nigerian person knows the value of education, only that if they are unable to send their children to school, they now use the children either to farm or use them as house help or use them as hawkers and the rest. So in terms of education, as a first lady, I will not expect she makes free education or whatever, but I look at her intervening in areas of making sure that the first ladies of the state as well engage their husbands to make the men and the women to be gainfully employed. So in terms of education, sensitization of the people is already a lot. But then how the provision for their school fees will be made is what is available. So even enough of employment, like in Benue, I learned that the governor now is paying salary. So if the government is actually working to empower the parents of these youths, they will definitely be in school. And then you talk of the new technology, the computer. If by the grace of God she's doing things around education, I see her doing more things about information technology and then making our children to go in that direction. But first, for education, I think the empowerment of the gainfully employment of their parents will make them send their children back to school.
All right. First ladies who are, their husbands have been elected governors, I believe that they would also have their own programs at their own levels. Do you envisage any kind of conflict when the first lady of the country is reaching them to carry out programs in a certain direction? And when they were elected, I believe they also had their own projects at their own level, or programs or vision at their own levels. Do you see a possibility of a conflict between what the first lady is telling them to do or trying to influence them to do and what they had in their own, plan to do by themselves?
I don't see a conflict. I see complementary. If government is to go with what it is right now, the president is doing something, the governors are doing something. So the first lady is doing something, and the first lady of the states are doing something. And then the first lady of the country is saying, this aspect as well, I want to assist your people. I think it should be like complementary and like a great welcome idea, because I think in some few years back, there have been a disconnect. The first ladies of the nation will do their own, and the first lady of the state will do their own. But from what I understand, from what the sitting First Lady, who is a senator, is saying, you can go ahead and be doing your own, but give me somebody that will also help me to be doing something. So already, the fact that she has asked the First Ladies to appoint her coordinators for her shows that she's actually going to work with them. And the First Ladies now have opportunity to appoint people that within themselves, so there's nothing like, oh, I have the power of the First Lady of Nigeria, I'm coming to oppress you, no. So I think already she has, as a lawmaker, she has set it in such a way that it will be complementary. Giving the First Ladies the task to appoint the coordinators of this is her program makes it complementary to me. That's what I think. I think it's going to work very well. They can go ahead and be doing their project while the coordinator of the Renewed Hope Initiative do what the First Lady of Nigeria have asked them to do. Meanwhile, the people that the First Lady of Nigeria is going to be impacting in terms of agriculture, in terms of education and all what she has laid down are still going to be citizens of your state. So I think it will, at the end of the day, I see them working together complementary, unless for individual differences, which statistics cannot tell you now.
Because we are running out of time. In just a minute, do you have any concerns, or what would you want to see not happen now that we have an initiative by the wife of the president? What do you think could be a clog in the wheel of progress of this initiative that you feel should be avoided?
Well, first and foremost, I would not want a situation where women who are not relating with grassroots will be appointed to take care of the program, because when you take women who are not in touch with the grassroots to take care of such program, that they don't even have the passion and they don't even know the people. It's like you go to a place and you just think that, okay, they need a ceiling fan, and provide a ceiling fan for them. Meanwhile, you don't know they don't have a generator, they don't have a light in that place. So you need to know that these people don't have lights before you now give them fan. So you have to, I don't want to see a situation where they appoint people who are not connected to the grassroots, because that will take the whole, they will be reporting to Abuja that this is going on. Meanwhile, they are not even there and they don't even really care. So I just pray such a thing doesn't happen, because that's actually what makes a lot of these programs not to bring good results. And as you talk of time, I will not hesitate to remind Her Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria, who is a senator herself. Countries like Rwanda have 49% of women participation in the legislative houses and different parts of governance, and you can see Rwanda is doing well. And so I also ask her to kindly speak to the ears of our president and the guys on top that the women are still asking for the 35% affirmative action and a kind of inclusion in everything they do, because I'm an engineer by profession. There are a lot of female doctors, a lot of female lawyers. There's no particular profession that women has not done exceedingly well. We go to school with the men, we do very well. We can govern as well. We are mothers in terms of tradition. Nigeria is made up of 3 religions, the Christianity, and then the Islam, as well as tradition.
Dr.
In Islam,
Adachenge, we have to let things wrap things up now. Ambassador of Peace, United Nations, Peace Polak, and a former Benue State governorship aspirant, Dr. Rosalyn Adachenge, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you so much.